Yeah, so salutes to everybody out there. Yeah, from Nottingham. We're in Birmingham right about now. We're not in Kingdom spot, but the kings and queens have to unite because this is the United Kingdom. So we're here to unite the kings and queens with me. So we travel from Nottingham all the way to Birmingham to come and check the sister, to all the reasoning, because that's what it's about. It's not just about all the man them just getting together, all them reasonings. We have to hear the feminine side, you with me? The empresses, the sisterings, you with me? Because they've got stories to tell and share with us, you with me? Because it's about each one teaching one. So we're here in Birmingham now. So salutes to everybody who watch Street Education, because this is Street Education, because we're here to give you street wisdom, street understanding, you with me? More love, more power, more unity for the community and the family tree. Yeah, so more lions, more lionesses to the world. Yeah, so good day, sis.
Good day to you, Yora.
Yeah.
I go by the name of Tan.
Yes, introduce yourself.
Here in Birmingham, ready to put down. We're going to talk about some issues that women have been having.
Yes.
Issues with children.
Yes.
Issues just with the black community in general.
100%.
But hopefully this won't be the last time, because this conversation, this conversation will go on forever.
And sorry to cut you off, I'm honoured that obviously you reached out to us to say that you want to come and interview. So that's where it's about the sisters having their voice and having their say and sharing. It's not, like I said, it's not just about the man them. You with me? So it's about the lionesses, because when you check it out, they're the head. Even though we live in this society which is in the Western world and we say it's a man's world, it's the women what run things. They're the head of the family, they maintain and nurture the children, and behind every good woman should be a good woman, and behind every good woman should be a good man, vice versa. So it's balanced. So like I said, thank you for reaching out to us, and more sisterins come and shout out to Street Education, more lions, you with me? No matter what city you are, hood to hood and city to city, worldwide, just get in contact with us. And if you want to be a part of this journey and share something, we're here to interview you. Like I said, so sorry sister for calling, but yeah, we have to inspire the sisters, you with me, to voice their opinions.
But it's not just about the women being the head, all right? It's about women getting our heads together.
That's
right?
True. That's true.
So people like to put women, and we are in this space of putting women on a pedestal, black women on a pedestal, which is fantastic, right? We need to be empowered. It's been a long time, and we need more empowerment, but we can't just be getting away with slackness, because we're being told that, well, you're a goddess. Well, if you're a goddess, you have to act like a goddess. You can't be going on with slackness and be given a goddess title. Right?
And the man, and the gods too.
And the gods too, of course.
Yeah,
of
so
course.
I hear that, but yeah.
But I'm particularly talking to my sisters, okay? I'm talking to my sisters, because there aren't many women that I know that will be open and honest about it. So that's why I reached out to you guys, because I felt that someone just needed to be honest with ourselves, and then we can grow. And like you said, we are the ones that are raising the children with the fathers, but we're with the children most of the time, a lot more of the time. So if we aren't right, the children aren't right, and so the cycle will continue. Yeah? So where do we start? Where should we start?
Well, we could start by, like you're saying, touching where do you think the problem is, in the sense of the women, the men, the family orientated. We as a people, as a black people, we come from that, say, like when we look into nature, because nature never lies, we come from that pride. So we identify ourselves as, even in biblical stories, as the lions and the lionesses. So as we are the lions and the lionesses, we work in unity. But how we come so far from working as supporting the women where they need the support, and supporting the black man where he needs the support, where we've fallen, where we've gone wrong. What would you say?
it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment in time, right? But we can pick up on where we are going wrong, right? So for me, like I said, it starts off with knowing your role. Yeah, so traditionally speaking, the man's role was to what? Was to provide, was to protect. Yeah? But society in itself has made women feel so empowered and so independent that they feel that, well, I don't need no man. I don't need his protection as such. I don't need him to provide, because if I don't have enough money, I can just go and sign on, right? I can just get a benefit here, get a benefit there. And in a sense, they've also made it that if you have a man, but you are trying to claim those benefits as well, you can't get those benefits, or you won't get as much. So it's almost like the black man is being pushed out by the government, by the family. But at the same time, the black woman is feeling empowered. So you've got this imbalance there, right? So
when I say that slavery tampered with nature, I mean that a major rite of passage for every male mammal is to provide and protect for a female and her young. Now, certainly we know that the black man has been denied that opportunity. He has not been allowed to qualify to protect his woman or provide for them. They have told us that the only provision that the black man is qualified to give us is one of money. And we have made finance the major focus of our relationships with them. We have made the one thing that most of them don't even have be the criteria. We have been taught that if they do not give us money, that we are not to even allow them to be a father to their child. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, then he is not qualified to tell us what to do. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, that he doesn't have any rights in the home. It's whoever is making the money who has the rights. That's not our system. The black man provides more in a black home than just financial support. He provides direction, guidance, gratification, fulfillment, and discipline for our children. Those are the principles that are missing in our home today, which is why our children are savage in the streets. We see those children out there sometimes acting wild and uncivilized and disrespectful because they don't respect anyone, because we didn't teach them any respect. We didn't know how. And a lot of times we look at them and we say, yeah, they're out there doing this, and we act like that they dropped down out of the sky. But those are our children. We birthed them up out of our womb. They belong to us. And we are responsible for them. And for every child that's out there out of control, disrespectful, ignorant, and uneducated, they have a black mother somewhere who failed to do her job, and a black father who failed to do his. It is not the responsibility, of the American government to raise our children. It is not the responsibility of the American government to support our women. And it certainly is not the responsibility of the American government to hold our man down.
So you've got the black women, ones that I know, pretty financially stable. Economically speaking, they're making more than their partners at the minute, right? And these black men who, you know, have been criminalized and whatever within society, who are finding it hard to find their feet. Yeah, we're trying to do things independently now, which is, you know, it took a long struggle. We were doing that at the start for whatever reason. We've now stopped, but people are starting to do it again. Young people are starting to do it again, but that's a hard struggle. You're starting from scratch. So if the government has been holding up black women financially, but then you've got a black man struggling to find his feet, she's going to be almost looking down on that man, when really she should be helping him out, putting him up to the unit, not realizing that if you do that, everybody benefits. Yeah, everybody benefits. Now, I'm not saying that a black woman should be babysitting a man. Not saying that at all. You know, not at all. Not saying the man can just sit around and, you know, play computer games and basically just live off his woman. That's not what we're saying. You have to be active As long as you're actively doing something, you know, whether it's teaching the people, whether it's starting a business, the black woman should be helping and being behind her man.
100%.
Yeah, because that in turn inspires the children. Yeah, the children are seeing mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle, whoever starting their own businesses, being self-sufficient. Then
role models.
They're gonna do exactly the same thing. Role models, right? But at the same time, if they hear mommy and daddy arguing all the time, or they hear daddy putting down mommy, or they see daddy sitting around, or they see mommy just sitting around doing nothing, just taking from the government, right? That could go many ways. But let's say the two main ways it could go. They're either gonna do the same thing, or it will inspire them to do something better. Yeah.
And so yes, we are functional. We have been taught that having a good job means that we are a total success. We have been taught that the solution to all the problems of the black people in America is to get a job with the white people. That's just not the truth. And that's certainly not saying that it is not important for us to have money for food, clothing, and shelter. And it's not saying that we as black women are not strong. I'm here today to represent some of that monumental strength we say we have. This does not mean that we are not strong. We don't have to put our man down in order to be strong. I'm just saying that we have used our strength in the wrong direction. We've been using it against our man instead of for him. If we use the kind of strength and influence that we have in this society to support the black man, won't anybody be able to come against him? But every man is judged by his woman, and if his woman say he ain't nothing, then the whole world believes he ain't nothing.
I think I touched on a few, but that's, you know, some of the ways that we can come back as a unit. We need to see ourselves as a unit, but understand that society is putting different pressures on the different people within the family unit. And I'm not saying we need to compensate for them, we just need to acknowledge them. Say, yes, you're struggling with this, or you're struggling with that. Maybe women are struggling with an egotistical mindset at the minute. But then the black man needs to understand that, okay, she's been put in this position. I need to respect her, but she needs to respect me as a man. Do you understand?
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. I hear that and I understand that, and you're right, 100%. But it's deeper than that, because even though that is the answer to what you're saying, it's hard to terms to come to that now, where people to do that and adapt to that, where they've been engineered for so long to, like it says, be independent women, because that's been pushed in their faces. Now, the mothers are becoming, well, the majority of the parents are single mothers now out there. So, because they're single women, they sometimes can't even afford to like go work, because they got to mind their children. Yeah. So as they got to mind their children, they have to maybe rely on the state, and that's how the state is like engineered it. So it's been like this for a long time, where we need to like wake up to the thing, like the black woman has been engineered to obviously be a certain way towards the black man, and the black man is engineered to be a certain way towards the black woman, because
we have studied that, and we have made up and came up with requirements that the white people have set for us for our man. And if he cannot come up to those requirements, then we have decided that he is impotent and unable to be our man, because he's disqualified, because he does not qualify by the standards that the white people have set up. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do. Yeah, it's hard language. And all of our so-called educated class together have never come up with an agenda that brought the people together to try to improve their condition like the Black Man's Guide. Not a one of them have ever had a program that got all of the black people talking, got all of them out. Made everybody decide to make a comment, whether they wanted to or not. People are compelled to testify all over the country. I can't walk the street. See, we've never been examined, as I said. In the breakdown of every relationship, each party in the relationship shares 1/2 the responsibility. That's 50% of the responsibility. So yes, the black man is 50% responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And we are the other 50% half responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And I ask black women, if you do not want to accept 50% of the responsibility, what percentage do you accept, and how does that behavior manifest? And I guarantee you it's already in my book. Because this lists the things that we do. We've just never seen it in print. We've never had it out front. We've never been busted. But now we have the equality we've been crying for. They're busted and so are we.
This is ancestral curse, in the sense of when it was like slavery and they got us like physically, they couldn't obviously hold us physically no more, so they had to catch us mentally and spiritually. So what they did now, that's where you got the Willie Lynch theory and all those things. They put the dark ones with against the light ones, the small ones with the shorter ones, and then to where the men and the women, they put them against each other. So when the woman was getting obviously taken away now, the black woman, remember, like I said, she is the head in her respect, and he is the head in his respect, in different roles. When we go to the root of it, and like we say, you said you can't pinpoint it, it's been programmed in us. What we now as the younger generation, hopefully, and most willingly and ancestrally, we're gonna break, because what happened at that point, like I'm saying to you, they put the ancestors against each other, male and female, and they took her, the woman now, the black woman, and made her maybe the house nigger. So as she was the house nigger, some of her children, or if not, her husband was still on the field. And they was treating her a certain way, and then obviously they were raping her and doing certain things, and at a certain time they even humiliated the black man and raped him in front of his family and his companions and all them things. So we've been humiliated, so she didn't respect him and he didn't respect her, because even though they loved each other, it was hard to show that love, because it been broken right in front of, like taken up, like snatched from us kind of thing. So when they've put these things into us now, it's like a traumatized. The family's been traumatized. So at one stage, when you go back into time now, the only time when the revolution or the black family was at its stronghold was like when you had in America the Black Panthers, or in England you had the Rasta movement, and government again broke down the Black Panthers, broke down the Rasta movement by implementing drugs and crack cocaine and guns and all those things into the black community. So like again, these lot have just been, anytime the black family was strong, they come and turn the people against each other to be their own downfall.
To destroy our families because we don't know any better, or because we're too lazy, or because nobody has ever called on us to repent. And so then that led me to the study. And so as I was going along, initially I was keeping up with names and addresses and all of those things for that so-called research that they talk about. And then I found out that we didn't have a control group. There was not one set of Negroes that I could point at and say, well, these particular Negroes over here, they didn't suffer from the psychological trauma of slavery, so we don't have to deal with that. I found out that all of us had the same problems, and that we were not as different as we think we are. We are all doing the same things. We're all practicing the same patterns of behavior. A pattern is something that people follow because they think it's the right way to go. We have been doing it and approving that behavior between each other because we think, well, this is just how you do it. We have not represented our own ideas. We have not had anyone to represent our own ideas to us. The only place we have learned about how to be a woman or how a man is to be a man is on television. We haven't had that kind of a chance to study ourselves. The white woman has been the only woman we have had an opportunity to study every day of our life. on television, in every magazine we ever picked up, in every newspaper, on every radio. She's been the only model we have had. And if we think that that's not important, then we need to, you know, look at that again.
In slavery time, when the black woman was getting raped and the black man was getting raped and so forth, and they was abusing each other. Later on in time, when they've come to obviously have their families now, they was trying to like be strong, but like I said, the government now have put these things now where the black man can't get certain jobs, the black man can't do certain things. You hear me? So because the black man can't do certain things, the black woman is trying to obviously support it, but she can't support it. The family is just hard, it's still broken, it's going through certain trials and tribulations. So now she's got to do certain sacrifices. Maybe she's like gone into like prostitution, or then he started selling the drugs or rated. So that's where you had the single family started to break up, because we come from good stock, so you didn't want to be a prostitute. You get me? Your family casted you out, or you didn't want to be a drug dealer because that's bringing bad reputation to the family. You hear me? But then the man was being man and started probably being pimping the women, and then when they were being pimping the black women, you hear me? Later on in time, rap music or whatever music, calling them hoes, calling them bitches, calling them rare. When you look into other religion, other cultures or other nationalities, they didn't call their women bitches or hoes or rare. So we as black men lost the respect for the women, but also the black women lost the respect for the black men because they were treating them like shit anyway. But also they lost their own respect for themselves, where really we needed the black women not to abuse them and go make money off them and pimp them out and all them things there, or turn them into heroin addicts or crackheads or all them things there. So what we did is the white man engineered us to obviously do evil deeds on our own women or our own black people, own family, and we broke our own family because we wasn't conscious or strong. We spiritually lost the way.
That's like what you said, that was the purpose of slavery, right?
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That was the physical. But from the physical, after the physical, when they couldn't hold us in the physical no more, because obviously it was rebellious and bare fighting and warring, they had to catch us spiritually. So they got us spiritually like that. And then anytime we was rising, they put the governments or the certain things put in certain places or certain things. Like now, the black family can't even discipline their own children. Why the children are going AWOL even today.
Right. Two things though. Right. I'm not disputing anything that you said, but it's almost coming from a point of hopelessness. Yeah. We know these things happened. We can sit, we can research, we know these things, and we should be teaching our children these things, just like the Jewish. You know, they'll never forget the Holocaust. You know, they'll never forget Dalai Lama and his struggle. They'll never forget.
Chinese and the Indian and the Jewish woman got behind their men, and they had some very terrible histories also. But because they got behind their men and supported them and worked with them, those people are successful today. They own property, they have businesses, they got great land here and abroad. You know, they have stocks, bonds, whatever America has to offer, they own part of that. They are in a position to make decisions because they have some ownership. It's only been the black man and the black woman who didn't reunite after a terrible time. And so today we are splintered. We don't have very much. We practice envy and jealousy. You know, they taught us a lot of bad habits that we practice against each other. If we practice everything we practice against each other, against the white man, they'd have been killed out of America.
Yeah? They have their memorials about the war, etc. We should be teaching our children these things. They should know more about our history than anybody else's history, right? So that would help them develop their sense of consciousness. But in order to heal and in order to progress, which is what this is all about, you can't be coming from a place of hopelessness, be like, oh, this is, you know, it's just too hard because this has happened in the past.
We need to actually break this thing, because it's like we're sleeping, but at the same time we're not sleeping, because we know what we know, but it's not about knowing what you know, what you're doing.
It's about using it. It's about using it. I mean, you see the Somalians who have come in, where I'm working now, there's been an influx of Somalians but you would never believe the rate of businesses, the amount of businesses that are just around that area now, Somali-owned businesses, African businesses.
Why, sister?
Why? Because they know how to play the system. They've seen it. They've seen what we're not doing.
They stick to their culture. We lost.
But they stick with each other.
Yeah,
as well. But they embrace us.
It's true.
They do embrace us.
But we lost the way. So that's why they just continue to keep the way. Because if you move like them, they accept you like brother and sister too. Like you said, because they're very friendly people. You with me? But if you just act like how the so-called black people are moving today, then obviously they have nothing to do with you.
Right, the older ones won't. The younger ones are a bit more in tune.
Yeah.
Right, but I see them just popping up with shops here, shops there, supermarkets, this, that, and the other, to the point where I have to go to one of their shops just to buy Caribbean products. But I have to search miles just to go to a Caribbean shop to buy my own Caribbean products. Yeah. And when I talk to them, they just say, we play the system. We know how to play the system. Now, of course, they are sticking together because they have the religion also that keeps them bounded. Take the hijab, right? When Asian women started wearing the hijab, they started being seen in public, because they were always wearing the hijab, but seen in public wearing the hijab. There was uproar, like, what is this? But it didn't stop. They weren't going to stop. Yeah? They just carried on because that's their culture, like you're saying. That's their culture. They're not going to stop. And now it's a commonplace. No one even looks twice, depending on which area you go to. But no one looks twice.
It's true. They respect the minute. They have to respect
them. Respect them. And with black people now, we conform a lot. We do. Like, let's say you want to wear your head wrap. Okay? You want to wear your head wrap. It might be an African print. It might be, people might be thinking, oh, that's really nice, but really they're saying that's a bit loud. It's a bit loud for this environment. So what do? We tone it down. Yeah? They might say, oh, you're a bit loud for this office. What do? We tone it down. Whereas the Nigerian man, that's just the way he is. That's the only thing he knows. So he's going to be himself. Whereas, dare to say it, but Caribbeans, because of our colonial history, we twist, we bend, and that's because we've become engineered to fit in, but at the same time try and get the best out of the system. When really we should just stand our ground. Just stand your ground, wear whatever is culturally appropriate for you, and you will be respected for it.
100%.
By everybody. They may be angry at first, they may, petition and all the rest of it. But like, even take the LGBTQ RST community, they're standing their ground. And now they're in schools. Like, you've got transgender workshops because they stood their ground.
And that's confusion. And that's what it says in biblical texts, you get me? Not because people might say, no, you're being biased, or you can't say this, that, the other. It's not what I said, you with me? It's what the Most High says, you with me? In all walks of life, if it's Muslim, Hindu, Christianity, Judaism, if obviously you shouldn't be doing certain things, you with me? So now you're doing certain things shouldn't be promoted to other children, shouldn't be exposed to other children, because children are innocent. So now you're causing confusion. You're making them think that something's good, when by the laws of the Most High, it's not good.
But like, if those people are confused and they believe their lifestyle is right, like you say, I agree with you. Like, that's your lifestyle. You're entitled to your opinion. We're entitled to our opinion. What it comes from, for me, is, like you're saying, exposing children who haven't really grasped a sense of who they are as a man, or sorry, as a boy or as a girl. Let them develop. Yeah.
Don't put your infection on them. Don't put your bad ways on them. You get me? Your confusion on them. You get me?
We're not saying anyone should be shunned out or anything like that. Because for me, if you're black, then you're black. If you're Indian, then you're Indian. Whatever. Yeah. We're here because like we're trying to spread love. We're trying to heal as people. Black people, we are trying to heal. We don't really have time at this point. That's not our agenda. We're supposed to be looking at ourselves now. So if you're teaching your child and I'm teaching my child, this is how it goes. If they're reading their book and they're getting their influences from their mom, their dad, their family, they can go to school. You see the Asians putting their children, Muslims putting their children into Catholic schools because they know they're getting that education at home. They know about the Quran. You can speak to a 4-year-old child and they will tell you about the Quran. School's not teaching them that.
Yeah, because they're getting taught by their own Asians. The Muslims have their own schools. So,
even in council schools.
Even in council schools, they get different treatment. So at the same time, we as black people, they try to put us in the dumbest sets in class and all those things there. But really and truly, it's not that we're dumb. They're not stimulating our brain. We learn a different way from them. So when we're in class and they're talking certain things about science or talking certain things about maths, because you're saying it in a certain way, it doesn't resonate to me. You're on a different vibration to me. Yeah. You get me? So you can't teach me, even though you may have the knowledge, but you don't have no knowledge. That's baby food knowledge, because the things what they know, we know now, especially the streets and the youth of today. Some of the youth them are young scholars, young, get me, young entrepreneurs, this, that, and the other, and they can go back into schools, college, universities, and have more like skills and knowledge and understanding of whatever subject it is, more than the actual tutor himself.
It just needs to be culturally appropriate. And
they can't connect to us out culturally. So like we said, we can't connect to the or this, that and the other, where it doesn't exist. It's just labels, titles, because we don't behave they want us to behave, but we don't operate how you operate. You read me?
So we're dealing with reading disabilities, math disabilities, autism, intellectual disabilities, speech and language, deafness, blindness, traumatic brain injury. But the big black four are the reading disability, the emotional disturbance, mild mental retardation, and ADHD.
And so you concentrate on this in this book. You talk about it being a war against black boys. So tell me about ADHD and the war against black boys, and how long were you actually looking into this and researching it?
Well, I've been a school psychologist for almost 20 years now.
Okay.
So I'm very well versed in this. ADD came to us in 1980.
Okay.
It was not ADHD at first.
Exactly.
It was ADD in 1980. And that came as an outgrowth of the war against black men. So basically, in the 1980s, that's when the United States government intensified its mass incarceration campaign. So that's when fathers really started leaving the home to go to jail.
Right.
That left a vacuum. But all these black mothers were raising black boys on their own.
Yep.
And because when the father is not there, the discipline tends to slack off. Okay? And when the father is not there, a boy going through pre-puberty and adolescence, he craves that father, because around 7, 8, 9, you stop hanging around mommy so much and you start learning how to be a man with dad.
Exactly.
But when dad's not there, that can cause some sort of emotional dysfunctionality.
Right.
So the boy goes to school looking for the attention that he doesn't get at home. And they call it ADHD. It's nothing but fatherlessness. That's all it is. But the government cannot admit that this problem is caused by fatherlessness, because they're the ones causing the fatherlessness.
Exactly.
So what we got to do is make a disease out of it. And so they came up with attention deficit disorder. 1987, ADD became ADHD.
Oh, okay.
And the reason it became ADHD is because there's no drug that can make your son pay attention. All of this is about money.
What about Ritalin? I mean, that's what the drug was used for.
But Ritalin, Strattera, Concerta, Metadate, Cycler, no drug can make a child pay attention. The only thing the drugs do is arrest brain chemistry. They calm you down. They cannot make you pay attention. In other words, you don't have to be hyper to not be paying attention.
Exactly.
So the drug makes you sit still, but you still are not paying attention.
Yeah, you
So
still
then the
ain't
question
absorbing
becomes,
anymore, right?
why give him the drug if he's still not going to be learning? Because the purpose of the drug is so that the white teachers who teach our boys, most of whom don't even want to be in there with them,
Hello.
can have an easier school day. So the drugs ain't for the kids.
It's for the
It's
teacher.
for the teachers. Now, I call ADHD what it really is, which is not attention deficit hyperactivity. What it really is ain't no daddy at home disorder. ADHD. That's all it is.
It's feminized anyway. Schools are at a point where they're trying to hold on to male staff. No matter if they're good teachers, mediocre teachers, they just want male staff. Yeah?
Why is that?
Because women are just naturally, nurturing, they say. So I know quite a few black men who are teachers, but yet they're struggling to find jobs. That's not in their hands. Yeah, they don't have a say. They're going out there, they're going for interviews, etc. So what's that? Social engineering. But at the same time, there is research that says having a male black teacher isn't necessarily a good thing for a young black boy. Where did that come from? That comes from, again, our respect for ourselves. So I'm teaching my children, like if you have a black teacher in your school and he's your teacher, you listen to that teacher. Listen
Appreciate
to that
that.
teacher. Yeah, appreciate his
But
position, appreciate his struggle.
But that's if he is a black teacher, because not because he's got black skin, he's a black teacher.
Yeah.
You with me? So if he's a black teacher and he's looking out for your child, like in the sense of he's teaching your child and he's genuine and he's coming off like a black cultural way, and he's saying each child's like one of those principles there. So yeah, but if he's like just treating him like you might be treating disruptive or treating the white ones better than you just every minute you're telling off my picnic like every old picnic's not doing the same thing. That's your own black niece, nephew, or it could be. You get me going better, you with me? So some of them get the positions and they forget themselves too.
For sure. Like, I'll speak from a personal experience. I had a French teacher, and for the whole of my secondary school life, I just thought she was out to get me. Like, every time I put my pencil to the paper, she had something to say, right? And then at the end, year 11, I went to her and I was like, listen, I don't like by that time, I'd already been exposed to like Dead Prez, Marcus Garvey. Like, I was approaching, I was addressing my issue. So I was like, I don't like the way that you interact with me. I find it really disrespectful. And she turned to me and she said, if you can deal with me, you can deal with anything in the world. So I'm like, oh, I got it. I got what she was trying to do at that point. I got it. But when I was in those years, in those moments, I just thought she was out to get me. Just out to get me.
I used to back that one. I used to have a teacher like that as well. Her name was Miss Francis, you know. And these times, she's my art teacher. But anybody else was like talking whatever, they might be getting blighs or whatever. But when it comes to me, like, she always used to be pulling up on me. I'm thinking, no, can't you see anybody else talking and you just pulling up me? So one time now, I must have been there now, and one of my brethren was talking to me now. Next minute, as soon as I talk now, she just got my book and went boom on my head, yeah. And like, obviously, she did that because she knew she can get away with that, you know. So obviously, I looked man now, because I didn't even know it was her. I thought it was like somebody else ramping, you know. When I seen it was her now, because obviously I was chatting, I thought, nah. But I was wounded at the same time, you know. You see, after now, I was like saying, no, you get me, no, Miss Francis always on this, on some fuckery, you know. Yo, she was on the radio station in the ends, you know, like, you know, she knew enough people, you know, so she probably know my mums and aunties, like, so she was certified, you know. But at the same time, it's because she wanted me to do good, you know, and she was a good woman at the same time, you know. But like you said, at the time when you're young, you just think, oh, why always me? But there's always a reason behind it, because sometimes you're trying to stay on the right track. So that's like I said, if they're black, she was a soul woman, she was a black woman, you get me? She was a good woman. So yeah. So
it's getting more
good people,
like-minded people,
genuine people,
into
the schools.
You know, we can do workshops, and I think that's where like the Saturday schools. Cause I went to a Saturday school, right, and it was one of the best experiences. Like seeing loads of black children sitting down, focusing, no signs of ADHD, ADD, anything like
no
that.
titles.
You know, all black teachers, and even looking back now, like it was just the best thing. And I'm in a position now where I'm looking for Saturday schools.
But they're not as
There's one.
popular like how they used to be
in Birmingham that I would send my black conscious child to. There's one. You know?
And that's what it is. It's that it takes us again as the next generations to revamp them, put all these things down and start to close these down. So it's like the elders kind of gave up on that thing there. So as they gave up, we have to become the new elders to keep the younger generation, you get me, flowing and flourishing with me with the knowledge and the wisdom for what we had. Because right about now, if you look at what certain things, what's influenced them, or what's continuously getting pumped and shown to them, it's all foolishness. You hear me? The wrongness, like bad things and the things of foolishness, that's what's becoming good and cool. Where we come from different eras, like it says, certain things like dead prejudice, well them I was teaching you about, like Marcus Garvey or certain, you get me, pro-black, or you with me? So it was always cultural orientated and knew certain things, even if sometimes you go down the wrong path, but you still
knew about it.
Yeah,
you knew where you were coming from. You had your, I think it's a moral compass.
Yeah.
Right. So at the moment, you see enough. I love grime. As I get older, not that old, but as I get older, I find myself gravitating more towards grime music. Because before I was like, nah, man, too much badness. You know, just on reggae and hip hop. But the grime is real music. Like it's almost like a cry for help. Yeah, you hear them talking about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but you're not thinking, well, why does this young man feel like he has to do that? With the hip hop now, everyone's just mumbling. Not everybody, but what they're putting out, it's mumbling. But
then because obviously a man's telling his story, which obviously everybody's got a story, is not all of them, but sometimes highlighting it, you get me, like showboating about it. And now the younger generation who don't know over the wiser, he's hopping into something or getting something to what he don't even know about it, where his life didn't come with no glitz and glamours without no pain.
Right.
You with me? You may have lost certain friends to the crime, stabbing, shooting, XYZ, or I don't know, drugs or what, I don't know. But it's not fun.
But we need to be pulling up those artists at the same time. So you can tell your story, but like you're saying, tell the pain, like tell about the people that you've lost. And there are artists out there who are doing that.
They are 100%.
Right?
I like them ones there.
But we need to be pulling them up. As a community, we need to be pulling them up. Like if you go to a grime show, it's a very mixed crowd. You go to a hip hop show, it's an even more diverse crowd. Yeah? But as black people, we need to pull up those artists and make them accountable. They're saying, well, I'm not a role model, I'm just making music. But like you just said, like you're influencing everybody who listens to you. You ever listen to a piece of music and suddenly you just, you know, if it's a piece of grime music or a piece of trap music, you catch the spirit because we're spiritual people. Yeah.
100%.
So even R&B, R&B and all the sex that they talk, like I can't turn that on in the radio when I'm in the car with my kids. I can't. I'm like, hold on, it's making me feel a type of way. Let's turn this down. Yeah, we're spiritual people. We do catch on to things, but at the same time, we need to pull those artists up, but we need to go to the source. Like, where is this pain coming from? Yeah, and that's going full circle, but that's a part of the healing. Yeah, so we can learn our history, but things like this, where we're sitting down, we're talking, we're trying to talk to the people at the same time, this is needed. It's a part
but this is what we do. Even though we do this like interview, like personal one-to-one, we also have events where we call out all the parents who have lost their their children to knife crime, gun crime, drugs, or whatever the issue is, or they've got their children inside prison and they may need help or whatever. So we need to work together because everybody's going through their own pain as an individual family, but we need to know that we're all one family, because in the next house somebody's going through a pain. You with me? In the next flat somebody's going through the pain, the next bungalow, whatever it is, Everybody's going through the same thing, and it doesn't look like I'm from Nottingham. We're going through the same things in Nottingham, and in Birmingham is going through the same things. I got brethren in Birmingham where obviously man are losing their lives and all them mad things there. You with me? And their families going through certain things. You with me? Shout out to get me School One family. You with me? Straight like that, Sergeant. Cause I know them man from prison. You with me? I was in jail with them one day. You with me? You with me? Their family is going through trauma right about now. Probably, you get me, they've got his children now, they've got no dad. So at the end of the day, a lot of family are losing their lives. Nottingham, a guy got stabbed. You get me? 17. This is what it is. Just lost his life. You with me? Over simple things, arguing over cigarette, but it's not even just over cigarette, because obviously man are violating, and these are little kids. You with me? And the other little you got stabbed, like what, little 13, 14, whatever, not little baby as well, whatever. You with me? So it's people's children what are out there, and obviously nobody wins, because one child lose their life and the next child goes to prison. So nobody wins. It's not no game thing where everyone's saying this GTA and all points. Yeah, how many man's got this stripe? Yo, fuck the stripes. That's how we're talking. But the man get to you. So that's how we think. Sorry, my sister, but sometimes we have to talk to the people raw, because because it's not no joke thing. People are doing life stretches, 20 years, 30 years away from their children, away from their mothers, away from their dad, away from their family. You with me? Or some people are visiting their family member in graveyard. You with me? It's not good. You with me? And you're locked up and you're missing your kids' birthdays, or you're missing your mum's birthdays, or you're in prison and your mum passes away, or your family member passes away and you got nothing to do with it. I've been in jail and I've seen there where man are balling big man because they can't go to certain funerals, or they can't be there when this, that, the other. It's not good. You with me? And the next man's pain is our pain, called, you with me? We're all one family. You with me? So we need to start thinking and using our nine minds. You with me? Cause with me, we are the supreme beings. You with me? But like the sister started, certain of the sisters have to act like goddesses, and we as men who call ourselves generals have to act like gods too, and start acting right. You with me? So we can be there to support the queens and the goddesses. You with me? Cause you can't do nothing when you're under the ground or when you're dead. You with me? Or in prison. So, and that's for the sisters as well, because sisters lose their life as well. Get me caught up in things what they shouldn't be caught up into. So it's a two-way thing.
Also, what I wanted to say, like, a lot of people put it down to single mothers why the youth are, doing these things.
It's not
right?
Both.
It's a whole array of things.
Yeah, because it could come from a good family. Yeah, so it doesn't
but
matter.
It's the influences.
The streets, the
that
influence,
Definitely. But I did want to speak on
Talk to me, sister.
the mothers who are babying their sons, right? If you're babying your son and you're not giving him the time or the right to develop into a man, give him some responsibility. Yeah, whether it starts off small from when he's a young boy. Yeah, give him things to do. That way, when he's older, he knows how to take care of himself.
100%.
Yeah, he's not relying on another man to go out and give him that sense of family, because he's already got a sense of pride, knowing that he can take care of some of his own responsibilities. Yeah, they put some of this gang culture down to finances, because the young boys are seeing what's around them. They want the latest this, they want the latest that, because it's pushed in their faces.
But it's not just that, though, because it's what you just said. The mom should do this, the mothers, but you're right what you're saying, but it still needs more than that, because the mother can do all the governing as what she wants, but a woman can't teach a boy how to become that transition from boy to man.
Right.
The man needs to also be there from the get-go to implementing certain things, teaching him from the get-go how to be a boy, or how to be a man, or how to throw a ball, how to do certain things as a man. So
it's also like just how to interact with other men.
So it's not just the mums, the dad needs to support her too. So it's a two-way thing, because the boys then go on, because they haven't got no fathers. If they're going off what you're saying, say if they're just saying the mum's doing all that, they turn into the man them on the streets to be their fathers, because the brothers, it's a brotherhood. You with me? So one of the big brothers is like a father figure, or one of the elders like a father figure. So he's replacing the dad what's not at home. Even though the mum put all that 100% and did show him how to be a man to a degree, but she can't show him the transition.
Right. She can't show him the transition. But at the same time, if, okay, let's take a 2-parent household, right? You're saying women are the leaders, yeah? They're the leaders of the household. But at the same time, if she is babying that boy and not allowing the father to be a father, to discipline
in that
the
aspect,
right way,
okay, in that aspect,
right?
yeah.
Then she needs to know when to take a step back. That is your baby. That will always be your baby, right? But there comes a time where you need to start
in that aspect. If you
stepping
say
back.
yeah, in that aspect, because
Let him grow.
In that
Let him
aspect,
grow to be a man. Let the father be a father to the boy, or to the woman, to the girl. Sorry, so she can become a woman and know how a man is meant to treat her.
That's for the sisters what's with a baby father
with
or
them.
a husband.
Now, if they're not, then you have to, as a single mother, you have to actively find a positive male role model, not just one. You know, you need to find people around, and that's down to. It's easy to say you need to find them, right? Because as black people in the UK, we're kind of off-standish with each other to a degree, which is something that we need to change, right? But we do, whether it's like you said, a brotherhood. Are there academies out there? I think there's some in London at the moment.
Got one called Manhood Academy.
Okay.
But these are the things, like I said, we
need
more of. But we're at the same time, we need help by the parents. All these parents who have got these pains, we all need to huddle up and come together, and obviously each one use one, each one help one, and support the cause and make these things continue, flourish and manifest more.
So, like, if we step back quite a few minutes, the Somalians, the Africans, the Eritreans, they can do that. The Muslim ones can do that at the mosque, because they know, like, at some point you're gonna see a man at the mosque, or you're gonna see a woman at the mosque, right? But for the Caribbeans, we have the Black History Month events. We have the Black History Month events.
Once a year.
We have the churches that some people refuse to go into. Like, where is it that we can convene confidently and on a fairly regular basis? We need somewhere to go. We need something that pulls us together more than just.
That means we have to may have to add, because in Nottingham, this is what we do. Everything what you're saying, sis, that's what we do. Kingdom Spot is the place to be if you're a conscious sister or brother, and you're trying to obviously liberate yourself or liberate your children and keep them on that right track. Or if you're having problems with your children, if it's in the sense of at schools or on the streets, you can come and we're willing to help. We work as a community. That's what it's about. Each one coming together, trying to resolve it as a people. So maybe that has to get implemented in Birmingham as well, because when More Lions started, there was a couple of Birmingham men around, like I said, I got a couple of links up here as well, and we was all maybe thinking about to try and set one up here. You with me? So maybe that's something what we can do, and maybe you can even be a part of, and other people on board can be a part of, and we can run the same kind of similar workshops there to educate the people. You with me? And these can be where the people who want black history, black knowledge, black economics can come to obviously start businesses or do something.
Yeah.
So
like in Birmingham, we have little hubs of places, right? But it's almost like they're in competition with each other to a degree. Yeah. What I'm talking about is just one universal place to start off with, because there aren't. There are a lot of us, but there aren't that many of us. Like when it's Eid and they have their Eid prayer, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Yeah, turn up at the park. One universal place for black people to say, well, boom. Even if it is just, like if it's Eid prayer, that happens once a year. Over a number of days, but it happens once a year. So do we take our Black History Month funding and do something around that? Could it be?
Could be, yeah.
I just think we need, you know, something that's going to solidify us. Be like, boom, well, there's this event, and all black people, no matter where they're from, the diaspora, we all go here. Whether it's the Hail, you know, Selassie, or whether it's the Praise Jesus, or a lot of whatever.
Well, that's something what we can put in the pipeline and yeah, make it manifest, because I'm on that
it's numbers, right?
It's numbers, like, yeah. And that's about making noise. You with me?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, just simple things. They have to know that we're serious about. The young boy who won his case with his I've forgotten his name. The young Rasta boy, London, won his case about having his hair. He could have his locks tied up.
Where? At school?
Yeah, at school.
Yeah, because at the same time they made my somebody who I know cut their hair because their child's hair, because they couldn't have like an afro or certain length of hair. So they shouldn't be doing the things. If we want afros or we want plaits or we want dreads, whatever it is, they can't tell it. Some things, these are our culture. This is our identity.
Put your foot down, stand on the ground.
But the parents don't know what to do. So this is why, if they want support, they have to know where to come to, and we're willing to help those parents who's tackling these things. They want to put their foot down and stamp it down and say enough's enough, and we all come together and start making noise as a family.
Right. So we can contact you guys. Contact
more lions, more lionesses, and that's what it is. And at the same time, they themselves should be a part of more lions, more lionesses, because that's what it is. You with me? It's FUBU. Remember FUBU back in the day? For you, by you. You with me? For the people, by the people, we have to do this. You with me? Trust me. But yeah, it's true. You have to. So yeah.
So we can put that on the calendar. I would just love to see the way that, you know, we come together for religion. I would just love to see us do that. Just come together for something that's, you know, as important as our young men and women.
Yeah. And because to add to that then, because I don't know it's been going up in Birmingham as well. You know, like all the 70th anniversary for the Windrush. There's lots of things been going on for that up here.
There is, but it kind of leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Simply because, you know, everything that you've seen in the news, like we're accepted, we're kicked out and celebrated all at the same time. Like, talk about confusion. You're gonna celebrate us coming, but yet you want to kick us out at the same time.
Deporting people.
It don't make any sense.
Don't make any sense.
They've come to seek work in Britain and are ready and willing to do any kind of job that will help the motherland along the road to prosperity.
The relationship between this country and the West Indies and Caribbean is inextricable. When my parents and their generation arrived in this country under the Nationality Act of 1948, they arrived here as British citizens. Thousands of British men and women denied their rights in this country under her watch in the Home Office. Can she tell the House how many have been denied health under the National Health Service? How many have denied pensions? How many have lost their job? This is a day of national shame, and it has come about because of a hostile environment policy that was begun under her Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I share the Honourable Gentleman's admiration for the people who came here from the Caribbean and contributed so much to our society.
I want to apologise to you today because we are genuinely sorry for any anxiety that has been.
I was sitting down with a Rasta man, and he was teaching me about independence, so the Caribbean islands. And the majority of them, we celebrate our independence, but we're not independent. confusion.
Because it's like got no sense.
Like your educational system in the Caribbean is run by people in the UK, right? But at the same time, the children in the Caribbean have better discipline. So when cousins and family members that you make contact with from the Caribbean come over and they're young, you're like, wow, you're 7. When you're talking to an 11-year-old and it's almost at the the same level intellectually, but our 7-year-old here in the UK almost seems like they've been dumbed down intentionally. But that's down to what you said again, like the parents, their authority has been put into question by the government. So the children are kind of looking like, well, what can you do to me? There's no respect there. There's no respect there. So I am gonna have to wrap this up because I have to take my son to piano.
That's what it's about. Taking them to, supporting them on their skills, their talent, and then pushing them by all means. So yeah, thank you for inviting us down.
Thank you for having me,
sister. Anytime. Love. So we're here in Birmingham. We're shedding some love, street education, more lionesses we're saying to the world, but at the same time it's more lions because it's about one family tree balance, and we need to come together to heal, like the sister's saying, heal the black family, and just come to the understand that there's certain factors why we need to come together and rise back up so we can have these businesses and we can flourish just like the other nations, because we've got the sense, we've got the abilities, we've got the skills, but we just need to come together and unify and unite and make this manifest. So more power, more love to the people in Birmingham, Nottingham, UK and the world. Street education, more power, more love, more unity, one order, oneness. Before we cut out, we're just gonna have the sister in, give you some fire, more fire, more knowledge, more wisdom, more understanding, She's got a little gift and talent what she wants to share with you, Very inspirational sister, so sister, share your talent.
I've got no time for their classes, no time for their molasses asses. I like my black coffee, no cream, that stain my nashes. Cuts deep with his queen, but don't touch the gashes. Tolerates the weave, but not the fake eyelashes. It's no cliche, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. My one and only man now is just your living proof, and what you heard is the truth. Not gonna try and doubt it. He is all that I need, not gonna brag about it. Loud. I don't care what they believe. I like them darker than the darkest nights on Christmas Eve. Darkness tanning for a year could never achieve. Appreciate a woman, be she bold, dreaded or weaved. Mentally conceive, out with the old and in with the new. They say there's not many good men left, well I've counted a few. I'm about my business, don't give credit, but credit is due to the magnificent, benevolent crews flaunting with melanin from their follicle to their toenails. Break them off course, many tried and have failed. In deep water, the wind's in his sail. Yes, he's on course, on track, can't be derailed. This girl's a delta, I'm an alpha female. But I'm a sucker for a dark skin wonder boy. Thank y'all.
Get some more.